Thank you, thank you. Aaron, thanks for having me. Thank you, Print Magazine. This is truly an honor to be asked, and also strange because I can't see any of you. Generally, when I give a lecture, I can see my audience. So I'm just going to kind of go with this being a first timer to doing a webinar, but I'm excited about it. So I'm going to walk you through a few things. I'm going to start with my career, how I kind of got started in the business, and then I will transition into the work that I do at the New York Times Magazine, including the most recent redesign that we went through. So as I click through here, I started my career, I went to graduate school at Pratt Institute. I grew up in Virginia, so I came to New York City, and like I said, went to Pratt Institute, went there for graduate school, and I guess my second year in school, I needed to start interviewing. I needed to get a job. Like anyone else, I was broke and needed money. I needed health insurance, all of those good things that come with having a full-time job. So I answered an ad for a art director position at a magazine called Market Watch. Market Watch is a wine, beer, and spirits magazine. It actually still exists today. It's not a newsstand magazine. It's a trade publication. So when I say art director, I use that term loosely, or that title loosely, because I was pretty much everything. I was the art director, the designer, the production director, sometimes the managing editor. Kind of did everything. I assigned all the illustrations. I didn't have any designers, so I wasn't art directing anyone, really. But that was my title, and I went with it because it obviously looked good on my resume. One little funny story, when I was at Market Watch, I went to a comedy club with my then girlfriend, and I made the fatal mistake of sitting up front. And the comedian, you know, of course, he saw me in the audience in the front row, so he started cracking jokes about, you know, what I was wearing, that kind of thing. You know, the stuff that typical comedians do when they you know, want to make an example out of someone in the audience that's stupid enough to sit in the front row. So I'm sitting in the front row, and you know, the guy's just ragging on me. And he won't stop. It's like I become his act. And so he said, you know, after he finishes, he's like, okay, look, you know, sorry, let's give Rem a round of applause for being such a good sport. He says, you know, Rem, you seem like a nice guy. You know, what do you do for a living? So I tell him I'm an art director. He says, wow, that's impressive. Do you work for an ad agency? You know, are you a movie art director, or, you know, maybe a big time magazine like Vogue or something? What do you do, Rem? What do you do as an art director? So of course, immediately thinking, all right, here we go again. So I tell him that I work in magazines, and I'm hoping he would leave it at that. He says, oh, which magazine? Have we heard of it? So I said, well, it's Market Watch magazine. So he pauses, and he says, yeah, that's very interesting. Me and Rem actually have a lot in common. I've done a movie that no one has heard of, and he works for a magazine that no one's heard of. So it was pretty damn embarrassing, as you can imagine, but kind of funny too. And honestly, Market Watch is a very respectable magazine. It's just a trade publication, so it's not out on the newsstand. So I can understand why that jerk had never heard of it before.